it can be helpful to say, are we protecting our child from something for their sake or for our sake? And I think that sometimes we protect them more because of our own anxieties rather than because it's going to really serve them. And I think there are lots of children who've had they haven't been protected early in life, in the sense of they haven't been given that protective gift of wonderful attachment and love and intimacy, because the parents are very busy or psychologically not able to do it or working too hard or whatever. But then as they grow and become teenagers, when they actually need more freedom, they then get the sort of micromanaging helicopter parenting that stops them from having an appropriate amount of exposure. So it often goes in the opposite direction that that we would wish. So, Lorianne, I know we have 15 minutes. Would it be helpful to look at any questions? And then if we have time, I can race through the elements, or should I just keep going?
Yeah, we can do questions now.
So that we have time for them. I think that might be better.
That's no problem. Just pull these up.
So, going back to the concept that the young child's chi and emotional health are intertwined with their environment and parental well-being, I'm curious how you hold expectations towards the child's healing. If the child's illness is a reflection of the dysfunction of a system, what is the treatment strategy? So that's a really good question. So I have many times found myself in the treatment room with a very poorly child and a very obviously dysfunctional system, and have felt overwhelmed by my what I may or may not be able to do, thinking, you know, the problem is much more than just the child here, so what am I going to be able to do? You know, I'm not a family therapist. How can I change the system? However, what I have found over and over again is that if we just treat the child to the best of our ability, if we focus on whatever imbalances they're manifesting, that through doing that, through changing their energetic state, it very often has a profound effect, a sort of a ripple effect on the rest of the system, on the rest of the family. So going back to that concept I mentioned earlier of all the family being connected energetically as the 5 elements are, we know that when we treat one element with acupuncture, we often produce a ripple effect in all other of the 4 elements. And the same thing happens when we treat a child. So to give you an example, I'm treating a girl at the moment who's 15, and she is severely anorexic. And what I know about her family, I certainly don't know everything, but I know because she has told me that her parents' marriage is in tatters. They live completely separate lives, and that her mother, she's her mother's only child, and the mother gave up her career to allow the father to pursue his, so she could look after the daughter. So the daughter, as a consequence of all that, is very, very overly protected. And I would say the mother actually lives through the daughter. So you could say, well, what can I do about that? Well, through strengthening the child, she's incredibly deficient in qi, in blood, in yang, in pretty much everything. She now